go to church. Here, I'm on my way to church. And I just want to share something briefly with you. Delighting in your weakness. You know, nobody likes to talk about his weakness. In a world of power, weakness is not welcome. Weakness is not seen as something that is positive or something that is good. Weakness of whatever form of weakness, you know, whether it is sickness, whether it is tribulation, whether it is problems, it is hardships, whatever kind of weakness, or whether it is some limitations that we have. Nobody is comfortable discussing it or talking about it. We sometimes even see it to be like a stigma, you know, and we don't like talking about them. I keep telling people that, especially we Africans, Ghanaians, I mean, to be specific, we don't even want to talk about our sicknesses. You know, if a Ghanaian or an African has some kind of terminal illness like cancer, my goodness, they will never want to talk about it. They will never want to share it. It's like a taboo. It's like something that has to be kept secret. And it's our culture. And it's like that with some kind of weaknesses. But I like what Paul said. Paul says, I delight in my weakness, whether it is an insult, it is persecution or whatever. He says the more he delights in it, the more he's made strong. And this is because when we realize that we have weaknesses, we become kind of vulnerable and we seek the help of God. We tend to look at for help from God. We tend to call upon God, and God releases his grace for us. So in weaknesses, we are strengthened. We receive grace. We receive supernatural strength. We receive supernatural grace, you know, and we are able to do that which we ourselves could not do. And I just want to encourage us, like Paul. We have our weaknesses, but we should not see them to be something that is completely negative and something that we try to avoid or use as an excuse to stop moving forward, to stop working for God, to stop achieving what God wants us to achieve. Whatever weakness or limitations we have, when we trust in God, God can turn them around and use them to accomplish the purpose that he has for us. He can use and turn our limitations and our weaknesses, and they will become our strength. You look at somebody like Paul himself. He said, I have a thorn in my flesh. What thorn was he talking about? He was talking about a lot of things. The first thing, we all know that he had a challenge in his sight, you know, visual impairment kind of, because of the experience he had on the way to Damascus, the lightning. Theologians have told us that he never recovered fully. So even though he had a problem with his sight, but look at what he decided to do, things that he needed to use his sight. I'm talking about writing. When you read it, you look at the New Testament, a lot of them were written by Paul, and he had that handicap. Yet he did not allow his handicap, to stop him from writing. He kept on writing, And he's talking about thorn in his flesh. He's also talking about the persecutions. He's talking about the problems. He's talking about being in and out of jail and all that. Yet he never stopped preaching. He never stopped doing the work of God. And so it doesn't matter our limitations and our weaknesses. We have no excuse. All we have to do is trust God. And God will give us supernatural strength, and he will use the same weakness to do mighty things in our lives. There are a lot of people in the Bible who had weaknesses. Moses is one, Esther is one, and yet they still decided to break through their limitation, and then they allow God to use their weaknesses to do something great in their lives and in their generation. So today, I don't know what your weaknesses are. I don't know what your limitations are. I don't know what makes you feel like you have to give up or you can't go on because, you know, I can't talk, so I can't do this. I don't have this, so this. A lot of problems here and there. So because of that, I can't do this. There are no excuses. There are no excuses. Paul had all this, yet he still moved on. So I came to encourage you, whatever your weaknesses are, whatever your limitations are, don't let them be a stumbling block. Don't let them be a hindrance. Push forward, and God will use that to strengthen you. He will give you his grace, and and you'll be able to do everything you need to do. No excuses. Thank you. Have a good afternoon, and God willing, we'll talk again later. God bless you. God bless you. Bye-bye.